Hi everyone, welcome, happy Saturday. I almost had to think twice about what day it was today. I'm so jumbled. But I want to first ask, if you are watching this live, let me know if you can hear me. I would hope that you can, but the other day I got kind of an echo, so I just want to make sure. And if I'm looking up that way, I'm just trying to read the comments. And actually, I'll come back in just a moment. I need to make sure that my comments are set. Perfect. So if you're watching this live, I actually can't see who's watching, but just let me know if you can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. Hi, good morning. Okay, all right. So I think we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to repost this class later on in the day. It usually takes me a few hours, so that if you want to rewatch it, if you wanted to send it to someone that you think might appreciate the class or is interested in supporting organizations like this, then please feel free. I encourage you to do that. Other than that, we're going to be taking it on the mat first and then possibly standing up, so I might have to change my camera angle. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so like I mentioned, we're going to get started on our mats, laying all the way down. And if this is your first time moving today, we're just going to start with a little bit of a warm-up, making sure that our body is nice and controlled from the center, from the core. So I want you to try to place the palms of your hands on your hip bones and your fingertips towards your pubic bone. From here, make sure that that triangle shape that you just made is nice and level to the floor. So that might mean that your pubic bone has to go down a little bit, your hip bones might have to come up a little bit, and that's just to make sure that we're parallel to the floor and we're in a neutral spine. So once we're starting there, hands down by your sides, once you find your neutral spine, take a big inhale, have your knees bent. Exhale, lower the low back down, flatten it all the way. This is an imprinted spine. Inhale to go back to your neutral. Maybe a little bit more of an arch if that feels okay, and then exhale, flatten the low back down. So going from an imprinted to a neutral spine. And as you do this, I want you to feel or notice if maybe your low back feels a little tight. And if it does, maybe it's only the right side, maybe it's only the left side. If not, that's okay. We're still gonna use this movement to warm up the body. Now, as you do this, inhale as you lift, or inhale as you arch, and then exhale as you press down, pressing the triceps, the forearms, the palms of the hands into the floor. Good. And now I want you to do this. Go back to your neutral spine. Now do this same thing, and I'm going to lift my arms up just so you can see the position of my torso, but you don't have to lift your arms up. I want you to exhale, press the belly down, tuck the tailbone, but don't put any weight on your feet. Almost act as if your feet are going to lift off of the floor. So I want this to come just from the abdominals. And again, my feet aren't necessarily lifting off the floor, but I want minimal weight on them. And then inhale, release. And exhale, press down. And inhale, release. You might feel your core engaged depending on how connected you are to it. If you don't, that's okay. Let's go for 3. Try to use your breath. Exhale as you press down. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Now find your neutral spine again. And if you have to make that little triangle in order to find it, then please do. If not, just hands down by your sides. Now bring your legs to tabletop. We're going to test the stability of our neutral spine, and that's going to start to work your core. So lower the right toes down as if we're going to tap them down on the mat, but try not to bend at the knee. Imagine your toes are trying to touch the far end of your mat. And then exhale, pull the belly in, but don't change the position of your spine as your leg comes up. And try that again. Inhale as you lower, and exhale as you lift. So that triangle that you just created, the neutral pelvic position, I want you to try to keep that, maintain that as you're lowering and lifting. And exhale, lift. Nice. And inhale, lower. and exhale, lift. If that's too challenging for you, I'm going to show you modification. So for those of you that are not taking the modification, continue to do this exercise. For those of you who are modifying, both feet on the floor, exhale, lift the right leg and lower down. Exhale, lift the left leg and lower down. So it's kind of the opposite. Let's go for 4. Last 3. And 2. And 1. And bring it back in. Good, and hold it there. So that's to test out your neutral spine. We have another position, it's called an imprinted spine. So press that low back down, almost as if you're tucking the tailbone, but it has to come from the abdominal muscles, not from the glutes. So make sure your glutes are nice and squishy. From here, to test out your stability, stretch just the right leg out long, maybe go down a little lower if you can connect to that back side of the glute, and bend the knee, bring it back in. And again, extend the left leg out long, try to keep that imprinted spine, and bend the knee, bring it back in. Now that doesn't mean that every time we extend one leg, we should have an imprinted spine. It's just, again, to warm up the body, warm up the core, the abdominals, kind of see where your body's at this morning. Let's go for 3. Last 2, extending those legs. Last 1, and bring it back in. Now, you can continue to do that same thing, or to advance, extend both legs out long just to where you can, and then bend the knees, bring it back in. Now, a little higher up to the ceiling is less challenging. The lower you go with the legs, the more you engage the back side of the legs when you extend, the harder it becomes. And of course, we're keeping that imprinted spine. And for the most part, anytime that you're extending both legs, an imprinted spine is usually going to be safer. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Low back is flat. 2. And 1. And bend the knees, bring it in. Good. So now from here, we just have one more. Place the left foot down, reach the right leg up. If your hips are starting to cramp a little bit, you feel tight in the backside, then we're always going to do a stretch after this, so don't worry about that. Lower the right leg down. Feel how the front of the hip opens, but you need the backside of the legs to help support, so those muscles are going to squeeze. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Now this is option number 1 to start this exercise. Option number 2 to advance would be bring the left leg to tabletop, so off of the floor. That means less stability for your core. You have to find that stability. It doesn't come just from the leg. Good. Now see if you can flex the right foot as you exhale to lift up. Point as you lower. Exhale, flex as you lift up. And see where on the body you feel that. Chances are you're probably going to feel more of your hip flexors here, but if you feel it in the core, that's where we want to target our work. Let's go for 3. That's why you want to exhale to lift. Last 2. Last 1. And bend the right knee, reach the left leg up to the ceiling, and try the same thing on the other side. Lower that leg down and exhale, lift. Now, what position is your spine in right now? With your right foot down, it's probably a neutral spine, and that's okay. But once we start to elevate that leg, we're going to prepare our body with an imprinted spine. I'll tell you why in a second. Let's go for 4, and then we'll lift the right leg up. Last 3, and then try to activate the back side of the leg here. 2, and 1. Good. Now bring the right leg up to tabletop, do the same thing. And if you need to do the variation that we did just before this, please feel free to do that instead. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Now check in really quick with the upper body. What is your upper body feeling? Are your ribs starting to expand up to the ceiling? Maybe your mid-spine is starting to lift off of the floor. Try to press that mid-spine down. Let's go for 4. If you're wearing a bra strap, it's kind of where your bra strap would lie on the back of your body. You want to press that area down. Last 2. Last 1. and bend both knees, press the feet down. Now that's all to prepare you for the next exercise. Remember, whenever we have both legs extended, let's imprint the spine down, okay? All right, so from here, bring your legs to tabletop. You have two options. Option number one, keep your legs here with the knees bent, or option number two, extend your legs, depending on how you feel this morning. Whatever you do, we're gonna lower the legs by pressing the thighs away from the torso, opening up the front of the hips, and then exhale to pull everything back in with your breath and your core. So if you're doing it straight legs, you're gonna lower down, inhale, exhale, lift. Flex the feet if you can. I almost forgot that. If you're on your tabletop legs, you're gonna lower so that the toes tap the floor, and then exhale, see if you can lift. Good. And again, I'm gonna alternate between the two just so that whoever is watching, if you wanna do straight legs or you wanna do knees bent, you can always kind of peek over and see what I'm doing. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last 1. And rest the feet down on the floor. Good. So you should feel at least a little bit connected to your core here. Now let's move on to the full exercises. So from here, reach those arms up to the ceiling, bring your legs to tabletop. Inhale to prepare, exhale, press the arms down, lift the chest and hold it here. Now try to lift your hands, or try to grab your hands behind your hamstrings. Lift your chest a little bit. Try to find almost an exaggerated lift so that you could memorize really what this feels like. Start to feel what parts of the back are pressing down. When you're in this position, reach those arms back in front of you, and you can either keep the legs here or straighten them all the way. Remember, imprinted spine for that option. And exhale, pump those arms 1 inch up and 1 inch down. As we inhale 2, 4, 5, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 4, 5, and exhale. Do you want to test your strength? Straighten the right leg. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Switch and inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 4, 5, and exhale. Advanced option, extend all the way. Inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Last 2, and inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale 2, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees in. Let your low back lengthen. Good. And rest just the upper body down. Good. All right. Option number 1, next exercise, feet on the floor. Knees are bent, but your feet are even further away from you today. Okay. Inhale, reach those arms up. And similar to what we did before, we're going to press the arms down, add a chest lift, look at your belly button, squeeze the belly down, and then slowly start to roll on up. Now, the reason why you need your knees bent is if you need help, grab the backs of your legs. Come all the way up. And let's try that again. We'll do a few of these modified, and then let's go into the full variation. So let's do 2 more just like this. Use your breath as you come up to lift. Good. Pulling the waist back first. And last one. Come all the way up. Now straighten the legs all the way. And I want you to feel the heels and the calves pressing down, sinking into the floor. All right, sitting up tall. Exhale, pull the belly back, round the spine, and slowly roll on back. Inhale, reach those arms overhead. And exhale, curl on up. Can we do it with a more rhythmic pace? Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, come on up. Nice. And try that just a few more times. Try to pick up the pace without necessarily lifting your feet off of the floor if possible. If you feel like the feet are starting to lift, then feel free to bend the knees. Let's go for 3. Last 2. and don't plop down. Last one. And slowly, 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 we're going to lower about halfway, maybe a little less than halfway down. Good. And you'll see why in a second. So don't place your shoulder blades on the floor if you can help it. Hug the right knee into the chest. Pull that knee in as much as you can. And then squeeze the left glute so that the leg can lift up a few inches. Good. Hold it there. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Switch. Grab the other knee. Inhale, switch, grab the other knee. Good. You guys got it. As you exhale to switch, or inhale to switch, exhale to pull. Inhale to switch, exhale to pull. Now again, try to keep the shoulder blades off the mat. Try to aim your head gaze towards your pubic bone or your belly button. And at the same time, keeping the chest open. Good. It's almost as if the low back, the belly, all of that is acting as your body's anchor point here. Let's go for 4, although you always have the option of resting the head, neck, and shoulders down. Last 3. Good. 2. And 1. And now reach the right leg up. Grab the calf muscle. Stretch the left leg. You don't have to overstretch this exercise. Just hold on to where you can. And then exhale, switch. Now, if this isn't available to you today, maybe you're feeling really, really tight and it's not going to work. That's okay. What you can do is you can grab the hamstrings instead. That's one option. Avoid the behind the knee. Or you can go back to that single leg stretch. Let's go for 5. Ooh, my abs. Last 4. 3. 2, 1. Hug the knees in, rest the upper body down. Good. All right, from here, we're going to bring the hands behind the head. That same lift that you had, that chest lift, we want to try to get back up to that without using the arms, because now the hands are behind the head. So from here, exhale, lift the chest, look at your belly button, try to get the shoulder blades off the mat. Extend the left leg as your upper body rotates to the right. Think opposite rib to opposite hip. And then inhale. Exhale, rotate to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, rotate to the other side. You guys got it. Now, for those of you that are just starting out, or maybe you're wanting to pick up the pace, that's fine. You can pick up the pace. The only thing I would caution you against is making sure that the hips and the knees are not wobbling from side to side. For the most part, my knees are just directly above my hips. It's my upper body that's rotating from one side to the other. So just be careful of that. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Really focus on your breath. Last 1, come back to center and rest the upper body down. Good. You can rest the feet if you'd like for a moment, but we're going to keep the legs to tabletop once your break is over. All right. From here, option number 2, straighten the legs for more of a challenge. So again, option number 1, knees bent. Option number 2, legs straight. Inhale, lean your legs over to the right hand side. Hold it there. Just I would say maybe 2 feet to the side. I don't know. My measurements are not quite right. So now I want you to think of pressing the shoulder and the rib cage down into the floor, with the exception of only lifting the left hip. Now exhale, pull the belly in. The legs will just naturally follow. You don't have to worry about those guys. Lean over to the left, and again, shoulders and ribs on the floor, and exhale, pull it back in. Now, for those of you who have done this before, every time you lean your legs over, I want you to look at your feet for just a moment. Make sure that they're the same length and they're both straight. Good. That'll make it more challenging. And remember, it's not about how far over your legs go. It's where you feel this exercise. And you really should feel it in the area between the hips all the way up to the rib cage, so your waistline. Let's go last 2. Last 1. Let's do 4 more, 2 in each direction. Lean your legs over to the right. Now draw a little U shape down. It doesn't have to be very low, and over to the left. down, over to the right. As you draw that U shape, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. And bring the legs back to center. Bend the knees. Rest the feet down. Good job, guys. All right, so from here, let's stretch out the front of the hips. Feet separated about hip-width distance apart, not too wide. Hands down by your sides, or for more of a challenge, reach those arms up. I'm going to reach the arms up today so you can see my torso. So exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in. Again, this is all coming from your abs first. And then once your hips start to lift, then press the weight into the feet. Good. Hold it up here. Make sure the ribs are trying to connect to the hip bones. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull those abs in. And again, it's only from the abdominal muscles. It's not from you pressing your weight into the feet. Now you can to lift the hips. It's really important to kind of separate those two parts of the bridge. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last 1. Reach those hips up. Hold it up at the top. Good. Now, for those of you that have your hands on the floor, see if you can reach one arm up, and you're going to reach the arm overhead and then back down. Left arm up, overhead, and then back down. For my friends with both arms up, you're going to inhale, reach those arms overhead, and then come up. Overhead. Now, if you can come all the way down to the floor, that would be perfect. Inhale, reach both arms overhead, and both hands down to the floor. Good. Now, can we tuck our tailbone maybe a little bit more? Can we squeeze from the smile line of the booty cheeks so that the hips lift up a little bit more? And then ask yourself, are my inner thighs working? Are they engaged? They need to be in order to keep your knees lined up with your hip bones. So just make sure that that's happening. Let's go for 3. Last 2. And last 1. And slowly lower the spine down, hands on the floor as you do this. Now, heels together, toes apart. 2 options. 1, flex both of your feet so that just your heels are on the floor. Or option number 2, you can relax the feet down. However, I tend to not like that. I don't like how that feels on my ankles, but you can kind of pick and choose what you like. Now, again, I'm going to lift my arms up just so you guys can see what my spine is doing, but if you need to place your hands down, that's fine. So, okay, knees are open, heels together, toes apart. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift those hips up. You're going to feel this a little bit more in the glutes, and hopefully you'll feel your hips open up a little bit. If that doesn't feel good, bring your legs a little closer together. Everyone's a little different, so kind of pick and choose what feels good for you, but you still want to feel some work there too. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in, lift those hips up, and slowly lower. Good. And exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. Good. So you should really feel this, not even on the outer glutes, but I would say between the outer glutes and like the mid glute right there. And then also right where your smile line of the booty cheeks are, that's the area I want you to press up always. Let's go last 2. And last 1, hold it here. Arms can be up or down. This one doesn't really matter. But I want you to exhale, squeeze the inner thighs, bring the toes and knees together. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs, and inhale, open. You guys got it. And as we're doing this, you don't want to drop those hips down. Keep the hips lifted. You should feel this in your hamstrings. I know I do. Let's go for 5. Last 4. And 3. Good. 2. 1. And slowly lower the spine back down. Relax the hips, relax the pelvis. Good. All right, from here, extend those legs out long. Inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly roll on up. Remember, you can have your knees bent for this if you need a little help. And come all the way up. Now from here, We're going to reach those fingertips forward. Look at your knees and flex your feet so you feel your hamstrings and the backs of your legs really stretch out. Good. And then slowly curl on up. Beautiful, guys. All right, from here, we're almost a little bit more than halfway through. Okay, so from here, let's hug the knees into the chest, arms crossed in front of the knees. Now, if this is a little too much for your knees, hands behind the hamstrings, legs elevated. Okay, rolling like a ball. We're going to inhale to prepare, and please be mindful that the first few reps are probably not going to look that pretty, and that's okay. We're going to inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll up. Good. Again, inhale, roll back. Exhale, roll up. Good. Now, continue to do that. Feel how that almost might feel like a massage on your back. For those of you that have done this before, I want you to think of trying to squeeze your heels to your glutes to challenge yourself. All right, so we're not using the kick of the legs. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. You guys got it. Let's go for 4. 3. 2. Don't skip this one. We all need it. Last one. Good. All right. I only say that because I'm always so tempted sometimes when my back is really tight, or at the beginning when I was first learning it, I was always tempted to skip that one. But don't do it. You need it. Your body needs it. Let's try a second variation. Now we're going to try it with the legs apart, hands behind the hamstrings. But first, when we do this, I want you to balance on your hips. I want you to memorize what this feels like, because when we come up, we're not going to drop the feet down. We're still going to roll back up, but we're going to try to pause our balance here. Now, if rolling like a ball doesn't feel good for you, you are going to do a roll down and roll up instead, okay, with your feet on the mat. I forgot to mention that. From here, inhale back. Exhale, lift. Find your balance. Inhale back. Exhale, lift. Now you're going to get to the point where you're going to be able to do this and not have your weight push all the way onto your neck. In fact, you don't want that. You want your weight to stop right where your shoulders are. Again, let's go last 2. Last one. And come up, pause, hold it there. Now, you can either hold here, reach your arms forward, or grab your ankles as you balance and stretch them out long. Might feel good if your hamstrings were tight from the bridges. Perfect. Now from here, bring your legs together. Reach those arms forward. Just kind of like you're folding out a piece of paper, I want your body to extend long and come down onto the floor. Pretty cool. At least it looks cool whenever anyone does it. So now from here, we're going to do the same thing coming up. Just like rolling like a ball, my arms are going to reach forward. I'm going to round the spine, lift the legs like I always think of crumbling up a piece of paper, but it's not quite that. Okay. Can you guys... Okay, sorry if that paused. I got an error message on my computer, and I just want to make sure that I didn't lose you guys. Hopefully I didn't. I hope I didn't. Okay, let's keep going. So now from here, what was I saying? Oh, crumpled up piece of paper. Let's inhale, open as we unfold, and then exhale, fold up. Now to modify this, you can always leave your feet on the floor. Let's go for 3. Try not to use momentum like I just did there. Last 2. And last one. And hold it there. And relax. Oh, that feels so good. Okay. Might just be me, but it feels good. All right, so from here, let's go on to our sides. It doesn't matter which side. You can do forearm as option number 1. We're going to do side planks, or option number 2, arm is straight. Now, I'm going to go in between those two options, especially this early in the morning when it's really cold outside. At least it is for me. So sometimes my wrists just don't feel that great when I do side plank. So I'm going to try my forearm for today. Now, as far as the legs go, you have two options, one foot in front of the other or both knees bent. Again, it's up to you. Actually, you know what? Today, let me try on my hands. Now lift those hips up, side plank. I'm going to show you the modified version, but again, for more of a challenge, straighten those legs. Reach those arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, lift. And inhale, come back to side plank. Inhale, lift. I think I said exhale last time. Inhale to lift, and then exhale to come back. Good. And just continue going at a nice, comfortable pace. Now let me switch to my straight legs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back. Try not to sag the hips down too much. And it's hard to tell with my saggy pants today, but maybe not the best thing to wear. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and hold it there. Rest the right knee down and then extend that left leg. So if both of your knees were bent, come back into this shape. All right, so from here, you can always make a fist if your wrists don't like this position. Top hand behind the head. We're gonna lift that leg up to where you can. It's most important for you where you can. Try not to muscle through this all the time, okay? Just lift it to where you're comfortable. Exhale, flex the foot, bring that leg forward, point the foot, and pull it back. Let's do a few of these, and then I'll show you a way to modify if this is still a little too much. Flex forward, point, pull back. Flex forward, point, pull back. Good. Now, for those of you that are doing this variation, continue to do it. For those of you that need to modify, you are going to do this with the hips on the floor, okay? No shame in that. I actually prefer probably this variation a little bit more than the other side, but the other side is challenging, and sometimes it's really nice to just go into it. Sorry, you have to see the bottoms of my feet. Let's go for 4. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Hold it back there. Can we bend the knee, grab that arm, the top arm to the foot, and open up the chest? That might feel good for the thighs, the hip flexors, the front of the body. I know this always feels good. And then come all the way up. Woo! To kneeling position. There we go. All right, so now let's try that same thing on the other side, starting with our side plank. So again, modify if you need to, straight legs into if you need to. I'm gonna do a little bit of both. All right, so on this side. Knees are bent, lift those hips, wherever your legs are, reach the top arm up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift up and over. Exhale, come back to side plank. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Nice. And again, you can do this on your forearm. You can do this on your straight arm. Either one is fine. Let's go for 4. Actually, let's do a few more. I almost forgot. I need to straighten my legs on this side. You can stay where you are if you need to. Let's go for 5. 4. Pull the belly in. Shoulders away from the ears here. Last 3. And 2. And 1. And rest the bottom knee down. If you're not in this position already, go ahead and get into it. Top arm is going to go behind the head. We're going to exhale, lift the leg again to where you feel comfortable, where you feel stable, and flex the foot forward and point the foot, bring it back. Flex the foot forward, point the foot, bring it back. Good. So you might notice, just like I'm noticing this morning, maybe one hip is a little tighter than the other. That's maybe why you can't lift that leg quite as much. Or maybe one side is just stronger than the other. It's important to note those things. So remember, on this side, if you need to modify, go all the way down. There's no shame in modifying. And in fact, I almost sometimes prefer it. But that challenging option also feels really good once you've done a couple. Let's go for 5. Oh, I can already feel my hips opening up. Last 4. 3. And 2. Last one, guys. Strong one. And pull it back. Grab the hand to the foot. Stretch the chest open. Maybe pull the foot back a little bit. Calm your breath. And rest the foot down. Whew, nice. Okay. From here, let's go onto our forearms. Onto our hands and knees. Forearms is an option, again, if you tend to get a little wristy or if you need to modify. I love forearms for that reason. Or whatever you choose to do. Let's say straight arms, both of your knees are bent, modified plank. We're going to go into some planks here. I'm going to go onto my forearms. Let me make sure my mic is set up properly. Extend your legs into full plank. Again, if you're doing full plank, this is where you want to be. If not, if you need to modify, knees down on the floor is okay too. Now from here, if you're in full plank, we're just going to hold, same with modified. Hold it here as you pull those shoulders away from the ears. Neck is long, heels are pulling back, abs are pulling in. We're not dropping those hips down too low, okay? I don't want you to feel this in your back. I want you to feel in equal parts front of the abs as they pull up, and then the glutes as they engage slightly. Okay, hold it here. Just a few more seconds. I wish I had my watch, but now I have to go off memory. Let's go for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees down. Separate those knees, press the hips back into a child's pose or rest pose. Stretching out the shoulders, the spine, maybe opening up the hips a little bit. Good. And now come back to your plank position again. Now for this one, I'm going to do fists on the floor. It just feels a little bit better for me personally, but I'm still going to go into the full plank. We're going to add a little bit of movement here. So now hips are stable. My heels are pushing back. Now for this next movement, I want you to press your heels almost as if you're going up onto your tippy toes. Your heels are going to shift forward and you're going to feel, let me modify here. You're going to feel those lat muscles really contract when you do that. And now pull the heels back. And then exhale, press the heels forward. Shoulders back away from the ears. Don't let those shoulders move. And bring it back. Good. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, do one foot at a time. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest the knees down. Separate those knees, press the hands back, stretch those hips back. You guys got it. Palms facing down. Okay, exhale, slowly roll on up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Good, great job, guys. Let's go down onto our bellies. Before that, I need to take a sip of water. Okay, so down onto our bellies, facing the same direction is fine. Now, I want you to place your hands underneath your shoulders, extend your legs out long, tuck your tailbone, pull the belly button in, and shoulders pull back. So when I say shoulders, I want you to think of the shoulder blades sliding down the back of the body, almost to connect. I always think of my bra strap back there, or my sports bra strap. I want almost my shoulder blade tips to come down to where my mid-spine is. Okay. Enough of that, or else I'll talk about that forever. Now from here, squeeze the glutes, lift the legs just a few inches off of the floor. Hold that position there. Exhale to lift the chest while keeping your head gaze down. Good. Now as your chest lowers, lift the legs. Lower the chest, lift the legs. Lower the legs, lift the chest like a teeter-totter. Good. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, squeeze those glutes. Don't let those glutes go. Tuck the tailbone, protect the back. And last one. And relax back down. Good. Reach those arms forward, head gaze down. Legs are straight, slightly separated. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the glutes, lengthen the legs, and lift. Same with those arms. Reach those arms forward. Now think of the center of your body pressing down like an anchor as everything lifts. You're going to paddle your arms and legs without wobbling too much from side to side. And let's keep it going. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, 2, 1. And relax back down. Good job, guys. Reach those arms forward. Extend those legs out long. Inhale, exhale, lift the chest, lift the legs, reach those arms forward, and paddle the arms, paddle the legs. Good. Again, we're going to repeat this exercise. Let's go for 10, 9, 8. Use your breath. 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax down. Nice, everyone. Hands underneath shoulders. Let's go on to our hands and knees. All right, from here, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, round the spine up. Look at your knees. Look at your hips. Inhale, press the chest open, lift the tailbone, and then exhale, round the spine. Good. Try that just 2 more times. Inhale. Shoulders back. Exhale, round the spine. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, round the spine. All right. Good job, guys. All right, we're not done yet, though. All right, so let's go on to the other side. This time, I'm going to give you the option of putting your forearms down behind you or straight arms. If you're doing straight arms, let's have your fingertips point out to the sides or behind you, okay? Now from here, keep your legs straight. I want you to flex the feet a little bit, maybe point the toes if you can. We're going to inhale to prepare, and exhale, lift the hips off of the floor into a reverse plank. Exhale, lift those hips. Tucking the tailbone, pulling those abs in, holding it there. Maybe feeling the chest open up nice and wide as we hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Good. Stretch those arms forward, flex the feet. Good. Come all the way back up. Let's try that one more time. One more time for me. Hands behind you. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Lift those hips. Point the toes. Tuck the tailbone. Feeling the back side of the body still working, even though we're facing up to the ceiling now. Let's go for 5 or for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down. Stretch those arms forward. And then slowly roll on up. Nice. All right, so now we're going to roll back down, but we're going to go into a little stretch. So lay all the way down. Let's put the right ankle over the left knee and open the right knee out to the side. So think of a figure 4 stretch. You can even flex the foot if you'd like. Reach those arms out to the side, palms facing up. And then the left foot is going to come close to your hips. Inhale to lean the legs over to the left-hand side. Be gentle with your body. And if you can, look to the right. Good. Hold it here for just a moment. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let your body just sink into the mat. And then come back to center. But before we switch to the other side, grab the back of your thigh bone, or if you're super bendy, you want to grab behind the calf muscle of the top foot. And now switch the legs. Left ankle over right knee. Arms open out to the side. And then when you're ready, lean your legs over to the right. Look to your left if that feels okay for you. Try to keep the left foot flexed if possible, just to protect the knee a little bit. Shoulders away from the ears. Let your body, whatever parts of your body are pressing into the mat, let that really sink down. I always imagine my body pressing down as if I were on memory foam. And then come back to center. And then rest the feet down. Good. All right, from here, one last roll up. I want you to, before you do your roll up, stretch out your arms and legs long. Imagine all of the muscles that we worked today, including the back muscles, front, side, all of it. Imagine all of those muscles contracting to help you come up and forward to a seated position. Okay, so let's roll up and think about those muscles. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press the legs down, reach the arms up and forward, pull the belly back. Feel your lats squeeze as your shoulders pull down, and you're gonna reach forward and come all the way up and relax the shoulders. Great job, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Again, this class is just to raise hopefully a little bit of money for the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, or ADAA. So not on this live video, I don't think. I don't know. I have to check on my page. But I know on my page, I have a way. Actually, let me see if I can set that up. Or I'll have to figure it out later. But on my page, there's going to be a post where it says, live class, donate here. If you feel inclined to donate, if you're willing to donate, I highly encourage you to. This organization does a really good job about sending out different resources that people could use, whether they're free or low cost. So definitely a good organization to support. I have not announced the next donation class just yet. I'm actually not sure it's going to happen in October. It might not be till November. So with that being said, stay tuned. I'll post about it, I'm sure, and I hope you guys enjoyed the class. Let me know in the comments down below how you felt and if you liked it, and I can't wait to see you guys next time.